Hey everyone, it's Pawn Hurricane here. I'm going to be doing about an hour session of 3-2 Blitz, doing live commentary, and I'll be loading it up to the channel. Feel free to leave any comments below. So we're going to get started and see what we get and what color, and go from there. Slow search time. Normally it's a little faster than this. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we got a 1596 player, and I am the E4 player, so here we go. So for those of you who are new to chess, e4 is just a good starting move in general. You're opening up the light squared bishop to go along this diagonal, and you're opening up the queen to come to f3, g4, or h5. So in general, it's a good principle. So knight c6, though not a bad move, it's not a great move to contest the center. So just d4, taking space is generally not a bad idea. Can't go wrong with it. So e6. You can just continue with the policy of taking more space here. So Jeremy Solomon in his book Reassess Your Chess said taking space is never bad. So knight c3, you don't worry about these. A lot of lower rated players will worry about crippled pawns, like when you take with the b pawn. It strengthens your center, and here people will worry about the e4 pawn just kind of develop and defend, and hang my d4 pawn. That's okay. It's Blitz, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. So, in Blitz, sometimes you're going to hang stuff and be sloppy, and starting to play Blitz while using a mic, I'm going to be a little more distracted. So I'm going to have to work on that. So, so here I got a little more space, some developments here. I want to play e5 first because he might take with the queen. So, can't take with queen yet actually, so it's like e5. So there's no point in releasing the tension. A lot of club players like to release the tension, and you can catch a lot of players, especially strong-rated players, by having them miscalculate when you keep the tension and there's more to calculate, and they're prone to making more mistakes. So generally, just a tip: don't release the tension too early unless there's a reason for it, or you're going to get a significant advantage with doing it. So I got about 30 seconds on the clock here, so pretty comfortable after hanging my d4 pawn. So that normally makes severe mistakes like that in the opening, but I think it'll calm down after I get used to talking and analyzing live while looking at my games. So I think a standard move here for black might be f5, trying to cement that knight. And I'm not really keen on playing f3 to boot it after f5. So f5, f3, queen, h4, check, and if g3, knight takes g3, h takes, and my rook is hanging. So so there's f5. I'm not really keen on seeing f4 happen. So so this bishop's kind of buried at the moment. So my first question is going to be, what if I take on d5 first? So c takes d5, e takes d5. I got to pass pawn. So c takes, and then queen takes is the next viable option. And then looking at c4, I'm a little hesitant to blow up the position with my king in the middle. So knight e2 looks like a safer alternative for now. It also stops f4. So, and maybe I can go for castling now. So got a nice time advantage. Even with the increment of 2 seconds, it's still not advisable to get into severe time pressure because you're still going to make mistakes even with the increment. So white or black still has to solve the problem of his light squared bishop. One way might be to play bishop to d7, to e8, to g6. That's in the way of like a French defense. You'll see that in a lot of French defenses. So here, white is trying to, or black is trying to renew the threat of f4. G3 might be viable, and then queen h3 and castles long. Certainly an attempt. So g3, and is there any knight takes g3 nonsense? I don't think so. So even I'm just going to play g3 and ask the queen what it's doing. It also again hinders f4. So so I'm still feeling okay here. The center's not completely open, so my king's not unsafe yet. If the center starts to open up and my king's still sitting on e1, it might become a problem. I could still castle queenside onto this square here. A move like castling short over here might be dangerous. So he cuts that out right now. So knight f4 makes sense just to boot the queen out of there, and so I got to be wary of g5 in some lines. So, but I'll take on d5 first and takes, and the d pawn's hanging, so I might be able to get away with grabbing that d pawn if he's not careful. Well, that's a free queen, so I'm just gonna take that queen. So so yeah, I hung a pawn in the opening, but he hung a bigger piece in the end. So that makes differences. So here I'm just gonna take that centralized knight. So and this is pretty much won now. Just don't have to do anything stupid. So I am prone to doing stupid things though. So so just here, just tickle mate and knight f6, threatening to win a piece, and bishop h6 is all on the cards. So knight f6 is gonna not win a piece, but remove a defender. So there we go. Got the first one of the night. So we'll keep going on and see what we get next. Oh, so yeah, the next skill for this YouTubing channel is how to fill up the space in between the waiting of the games. This won't be such a big deal when I start playing in the tournaments once I get rid of my provisional rating. So you guys can maybe give me some tips on how to fill up the airtime. I'll start watching more channels and see what they do. Alright, so we got an 1852. So playing black. So e4. I generally spawn c5. I'm a dragon player overall. I've been playing with the Berlin lately a little bit. I bought Victor Bologan's DVD by Chess Base on the Berlin, and I've been enjoying it. It's something I might try in classical games at some point. But so this is a really weird move order. I might be able to take on. I don't think I could have taken on e4 in that line. So I'm not really sure what white's doing. So I'm just going to castle. So and I'm expecting white to short castle, maybe play for f4. This is a funky move order. Like I almost want to try and punish. I don't know how to punish this. I don't know if I can. D5 certainly looks like a potential attempt, but I've seen play like this go, and he played bishop e6, and he tried to open up the f file in some lines. So it makes it easier maybe to play d5. Oh, this is a nice way to trade the bishop. So maybe play a6 here and b5 at some point. Okay, well, I'm actually pretty happy with my position here. Okay, I'm threatening mate right now, so knight d5 is off the cards. Not anymore though. So I'm just going to play rook c8 here. And I'm pretty comfortable with my position. b5. So okay, h4 is definitely a standard idea here. Yeah, h5, play h5 myself to stop h5. So if pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes, I have king takes, and queen d4, just king g8, and I should be doing fine. So I'm going to take here and pre-move, bishop takes g7. So, and I think in a lot of these dragon lines, the reason why black can win these in mating attacks, but a lot of times he'll win endgames just because he's got better pawn structure. Okay, so an idea here now is for white to play queen to g5 here, and try to play queen takes h5. So, how to defend that? That's a curious question. b4 is an attempt, but I don't really want to throw the knight onto d5. Rook c5 is it's definitely a dragon type of idea. Just trying to keep the queen out of g5. You see these in all kinds of dragon lines, especially when the bishop goes to g5 here. In a lot of the mainline Sicilians, or mainline dragons, play rook to c5, and a lot of times you'll sack the exchange or something like that on g5 instead of c3. And oh boy, I think I just walked into b4 here, which is kind of uncomfortable. Oh, I think b4 might have been winning for him, but that's okay. So knight e7 is on the cards. So, and I still have to be wary of b4, so I'm just going to get out of that nonsense, because that would have kind of sucked. So, missed tactical shots. Tactics are so important, and even really strong players like FIDE masters, international masters, they definitely all make mistakes. So, so rook c8, because knight e7 might be on the cards in some lines. Rook g1 is on the threat. Okay. Alright, so what now? So I might be in a little bit of hurt here. So, e5. Trying to... I don't know. It leaves me with that weak d pawn. So, but I think I get the f4 square. So, and I get to kind of kick the queen out a little bit. But I still have to be wary of knight f4 and h5. So, okay, so he's threatening rook takes h5 right now. So I have to put a stop to that. Okay, so knight f4. So the idea, well, he might be able to get away with h5 right now, and that's really scary. So we'll have to see what goes on here. I'm probably losing. So yeah, h5. Oh boy. Oh, okay. How to get some kind of counterplay? Okay, so knight e2, h takes g6, knight takes g1, takes on f7, king takes f7, rook h7, king f8, rook h8, and he's picking up. I think I might want a rook in that line. I couldn't calculate all the way through. That's I don't have enough time to calculate all the way through. Unfortunately, he doesn't have to take the knight, so he doesn't have to go in for that mess. And he doesn't. So, okay, how do I get something running here? I'd like to try and deflect that queen if I can. So, well, if I can, maybe sack the exchange this way. So at least knight f4 might provide me with some kind of cover. Probably not, but let's play knight f4 now. I still think my position's probably losing because I'm down the exchange and still under an attack, and the white's king is doing it's doing fine. So now it's just the hunt for counterplay to see if I can get anything. So okay, so b4. We'll probably play c4. So yeah, I'm down to 20 seconds, so now it's time to try and make it a mess. So okay, so I'm gonna take here, takes, and so knight takes, rook takes, check, and that picks up a queen. Okay, so alright, gotta go for it, and I'm assuming I'm getting mated after queen f5. So that's no good. Well, I have queen f6 here, and I'm going to lose everything after rook h7, so I'm just going to resign and keep going on and see if we can get another opponent, get through these provisional games, and see how bad my rating sucks. So then I'll start in the tournament chess, and it'll be more consistent for play. All right, so getting a Carl can, it looks like. This is probably the one good line that I know the classical Carl can very well. These are more solid lines. I know taking knight takes f6 is it's really solid for black. So and white doesn't get anything overly special. So like in most lines, so it's not really a big deal. c3, castles. Okay, so queen b3, let's just tickle the b7 pawn. So the bishop's gone away. So queen c7 would be on the cards. Queen c7 guards it and would have threatened bishop takes f3. So, okay, so let's play bishop e3, get developed. Queen c7, h3. I would love to get the bishop pair in this position. So a4. I'm gonna try and create some weaknesses over here. Try and get something going. Rook e8, all natural. A5. So I wouldn't mind taking here and opening up some lines. So c5. Okay, let's take here first. So the knight takes. I can play d takes c5. So that probably wasn't a good move. Knight takes c5. I've improved his piece, and that's something I need to work on in my own play, not improving my opponent's pieces. Okay, I didn't like that. I thought knight c5 was just generally a more active move overall. Okay, so bishop c4 threatens to win an exchange. So bishop takes f7 is on the cards. So bishop e6 might be a good response. So bishop takes f3 might make it messy, but I still like I think I'd be up the exchange, and I'm picking up the f7 pawn as well. So I think bishop e6 would be a good response here. Might be able to start with rook takes a1, rook takes a1, bishop e6. So okay, so knight d4. So maybe I can come to knight f5. Slowly improving. Okay, I don't want to. Don't really want to just give him that bishop. In open positions like these, you either want to keep your bishop pair versus his bishop pair, or try to gain the bishop pair. You don't want to just give it up for nothing. So bishop e2, bishop takes e2, knight takes e2, bishop takes e3 kind of leaves me with an unpleasant pawn structure. So bishop b5 looks like a better try, because I don't want him taking on e3, and I like my centralized knight, so I generally don't want to decentralize my pieces unless I have to. Okay, so knight c6, knight takes. So knight c6. Okay, knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes. Okay, let's I'm gonna try this. Knight takes c6 and see what's going on here. Okay, so takes. So I think he's winning. Oh, he's not winning a pawn, because if rook takes, I have rook a8 winning the queen. Okay, I'll take on c5 first, and okay, play here. I'd like to play c4 in this position if I can. So c4, queen b5. Okay, I'm gonna play c4 here, just solidifying my bishop. Okay, rook d1, not yet. Bishop's guarding d1, so that would be unpleasant. So I don't see a way to kick the queen off of h3, and it's controlling some nice squares here. At some point, maybe I can stare at the h7 pawn. So okay, so all right, so rook a8. So I gotta be careful of some shots here. All right. So I want to play rook a1, rook takes, and there is uncomfortable. Let's play f4. So I'm trading left. I'm not going to get back rank mated by accident. So I did drop a pawn here, it looks like. Yeah, I dropped a pawn earlier, but they're all on the same side of the board. Black's pawns are doubled. I actually like this for white now. I get to take on f6, and h5 is hanging, and a8's hanging. So okay, well that definitely picks up a piece for me. Well, maybe not. Okay. Now this comes, a lot of these positions come down to whose king is safer. So I think, okay, so where to put that? King 2. I've never been particularly good at, queen endgames are quite complex, especially in time pressure. So black can't grab on f6 right now, so king c2. I don't want him just grabbing a c4 pawn for free. So just play here. G6 might be an attempt. Actually, no, G6 still lands in the mate. So I think I have enough to give perpetual. I just don't sit on a light square, so you can't take the c4 pawn with check. I think this will get adjourned to a draw. I'm going to offer one here. I don't think there's any way for anybody to make progress in this position. So okay, king here, and just king here, just stay in a dark square, and nothing's gonna happen. So, well, king c1, I can't just play king e2 here. So I must be a little careful. All right, I might be screwing this up, but we'll find out. Oh, I think I might have screwed this up. No, I can actually play here. So if he takes, I have king. See, you can actually never take on c4. That's interesting. So, because I always have back mate threat, so I can just play back here. So yeah, this is still a draw. So I'm still doing okay here. Just king here, and I'll just play it out. We might be close to a 3-time repetition, but I'll let him decide. I'm not going to worry about it too much. So yeah, and there's our threefold. So gained a few points, nothing overly special. We'll keep going along. Okay, 1763. These kind of openings are kind of weird. You can transpose into a lot of different openings. G6. Generally, if someone's going to play like a Torre, or okay, I'm certainly not a perk player, so I'm not going to play D6, or I'll play D5. I've played the perk a few times, and I get okay positions, but they're not my cup of tea. So knight b5 is not a threat here, because knight a6 just stops all the threats on c7. So who cares? Just castle. I'm trying to play a little faster this game. So this is kind of anti-positional. It's not bad because development is almost never bad, but he has blocked his c pawn, so I'm going to try and use that to attack his center. So b6 here, followed by bishop b7 and c5 is probably an okay attempt. So if there's one thing I've learned from playing a lot of Blitz, you can get away with a lot of different stuff in the openings. To lose a chess game, you have to make a ton of mistakes. So c5 is certainly going to be my next move here, if nothing else. So okay, I got to be a little careful, but that's not a big deal. c5. If nothing, c4 is threatening to win a piece. And that knight, yeah, I think queen e2 might have been a mistake. So I'm gonna try and take that piece. So I think I'm doing all right here. So that looks like a clean piece and 2 pawns. So now it should be a matter of just playing again just normal chess. Try and swap some pieces off, and don't make any silly mistakes. So then gotta be a little careful. Sometimes pawns can get rolling if you're not careful. Okay, so I'm not getting any pieces off. Rook c8 steps out of all this knight c7 nonsense. Okay, so bishop e4. So now the bishop has to come off. So That makes me happy. Okay, so let's got a third pawn again. So, alright, this is getting... Again, this is this problem sometimes with allowing some sloppy play. So, 3, 4, 5. So he's got 3 pawns, so this is going to be more difficult than I thought. I might be able to win another pawn here with knight b4, try and pick up the a pawn. So, oh, well, I'll take the queen instead. So, alright, so I maybe got a little lucky in that, and I really did give him way too much there and getting 3 pawns for the piece. So, and we'll keep going along here. Got my rating almost to 1800. I know it's amazing, playing pretty bad, but slowly the rating's going up, and hopefully the kinks will work their way out. It's not like I'm rusty. I play pretty actively at my club and long chess, so hopefully these are just temporary mistakes and silly mistakes that weed themselves out in a few minutes. So, and when you're starting out playing chess, if there's any new players watching this, never be afraid to make mistakes or oh, I don't want to play, like I don't want to sacrifice a piece and potentially lose. If you think a move is correct, what I tell my students, if you think the move is correct, play the move. If you calculate it as far as you can, if you don't see anything wrong with it, play it. Learn to trust your intuition. It'll make you a better player in the long run. It's always better to overestimate your opportunities than to like underestimate your opportunities. So, and really, it's just chess. Like, it's not the end of the world if you lose a game. I know we can all get pretty upset. Things can get pretty heated, especially in competitive over the board chess. But yeah, in the end, it's still just a game. So I've learned to calm down a little bit. Even though I'm still trying to improve, still trying to break 2200. I've broke 2100 once, so it's a lot of work. But for the most part, I've enjoyed it. So now it is taking a long game. Oh, that's why I clicked the rematch button. Let's try that again. Okay, it's unlimited. No. Okay, let's put it back. We were going to sit there forever waiting for a rematch that I was never going to get. So, more paying attention when I'm setting things up and less talking. Okay. Someone invited me to play. Invites? No. What? I didn't cancel anyone. Alright, let's go back. I don't know what happened. Okay, let's click the 3-2. So, keep it simple. Alright, 1793. I still got a provisional of 1837. I'd like to get it over 2000 before the provisional's up. So again, English here. I faced this last Thursday in my long game against a 2300. I did manage to pull a draw. But oh no, it's probably never really worse. But I might have missed a win. But that's for another day. So I'm comfortable going into a King's Indian. So this might be a hybrid. This can maybe turn, if he plays e4, it can maybe turn into a Taimon or an Averbach. So e3, this is one of the more quieter systems, and I certainly don't mind Benoni structures either with c5. I don't like playing the modern mainline Benonis because Black has to play them pretty accurately. So in these Benoni type positions, a lot of times your bishop here and your knight here can fight over this d7 pawn. So if you get the chance to play like bishop g4, that can be good. Because a lot of times, maybe not specifically in this position because there's still a pawn on c4, in regular Benoni positions, the knight wants to go from f3 to d2 to c4. So I'm not going to take this right away. I'm going to wait for him to play h3 and waste a move. So I'll just play knight d7. Some of the main ideas might be to play a6 and b5. So okay, now I'm going to take that. So, and let's just play a6. I definitely don't mind. So a4. I was going to sack a pawn with b5 and just go for it. So it's already 5. I'm not so really where this knight wants to go yet. So bishop e2. So maybe 95 was a little premature. I'm gonna let him play e4. Here I'm gonna try and bust in the center a little bit. Bust up the center. His king's. It's not unsafe because the center's still closed and he can castle at any time. So there comes f4. So okay, so I might be giving up I definitely might be giving up some material here. Okay. Well, the d pawn is dropping off, but that's well, the position is opening up. I don't have the bishops, but his king's kind of unsafe. Alright, he does not want my d pawn, so I'm going to play e5 here and allow f5. So I'm not overly scared of f5 at the moment. So his knight doesn't have a well, knight e4 might be an interesting attempt here, but I'm going to play h6, bishop h4, and g5, pinning or taking away the pin on the bishop. So it's probably about equal here. I don't think white has an answer. I definitely don't think black's better though. So black might even have to be a little more careful here. Okay, so relocating. Let's just play queen e7 looks relatively normal. Just connecting your rooks, so essentially finishing development. Play h6, and if I get the chance, e4 might be okay, trying to grab some space and opening the diagonal for my dark squared bishop. I must admit, I'm not very good at playing these positions with pawns on e5 and c5. So, alright, so okay, so by playing bishop e3, white's negated my g5 idea. So, and I'm still in this kind of weird pin. So it's not the end of the world yet. So, but he's always gonna try and take on e5 and try and close everything up. So, all right, queen. Maybe I overestimated queen here. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and play this and try and get away. So it takes. Maybe I have to take with the queen. Oh god, this is getting horrible. That's not the pawn you want to drop in any kind of these structures. Dropping your d pawn kind of says death is coming. So plus my f6 knight might be hanging in some lines. So with a hit on the bishop and yeah, I'm definitely losing here. So, but I don't know. Maybe I can try and swindle him. We'll find out. I'm gonna take that. So I'm gonna try and play f5 here and try and make it a bit of a mess. So the e4. I'm hitting on the b2 pawn now, so maybe I can collect the b2 pawn. All right. Okay, b5. Try and get something going for me. So try and make it a mess. I don't want to trade any pieces off right now. So okay, so he's not going to go for the mess. I'm going to play queen c7 here and reconnect my rooks. I want him to do other trades, right? Trading of pawns. When you're down in material, you don't want to trade minor pieces. You want to trade pawns off. The more pawns that come off, the easier it will be to defend positions, especially endgames, because the more pawns that come off, the harder it is to win. But if you just trade a whole bunch of minor pieces and not pawns, then it's really easy just to win a simple king and pawn endgame, because you're just up a pawn and it's relatively easy. So yeah, so the critical ideas here is trade pawns, not pieces. So try to keep it complicated. So okay, so here he's definitely attacking. He's attacking my f pawn. So let's king h8. Maybe I can get some play going down the g file at some point. So if the f takes, play f takes, and maybe rook g8. And I'm not sure where to put the bishops yet, but I'll give it a go. He's we're on equal time, so I don't mind. I don't mind. Like, I'm worse, definitely worse, but like, with time like this, it almost doesn't matter. So mistakes are going to happen in time pressure. So that's definitely what I'm aiming for. Okay, so he wants to play queen here, so I'm just going to play here. So queen d5 makes a lot of sense here. So yeah, so okay, so he's hitting my pawn. Queen c8, I'm guarding my pawn. I want to be able to play knight f6. Okay, gotta be a little careful of that coming down my throat. Okay, h6. Oh dear. Oh, okay, that hangs a rook. Okay, yeah, I'll just resign. There's no coming back from this. So we'll go for another one. And we'll see if I can finish off the provisional. I doubt I'll make 2K. It's not going swimmingly at the moment, but it's starting to get late here. It's about quarter after 12. So we'll see how many more games I can get through. My rating dropped below 1800, so that's kind of depressing. But so I like to play b4 here. It is a legit gambit, and it was played by, I think, a few times by Marshall in exhibition games. So the main move here used to be rook b1. I think it was in Nigel Davies' book Gambitier 1 or 2 for the black side. He recommends a4 here. So kind of playing a reverse banker with e6, bishop a3, trying to trade off this dark squared bishop and making black not be able to castle. So, and if he plays g6, you're going to try and target the e7 pawn instead. So it's only a pawn, and you get some development. So, when I've looked at this line with the engines before, they always recommend just playing bishop d3 instead of d4. So, okay, well, if he wants to, I'm just gonna play. If he wants to, I'll sack more material. I don't mind. It's Blitz. So queen g2, bishop f3. Just keep it going. So it's just material, and it's Blitz, so don't worry about it too much. So queen's probably got to go back to g5 or g6. So then I can play knight e2, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I have 3 pieces developed to 2 right now, so I'm just gonna play knight e2, d4. Oh, let's play knight e2. Finish getting some development. Maybe I can play rook g1 and d3 and see where I'm gonna. I gotta figure out a place to put my queen right now. So knight c6. Okay, rook g1. I'm gonna make it hard to play g6 and maybe e6. So, but black's going to try and castle long. So, rook b7. All right, so my bishop's hit. So let's play knight g3, guarding my bishop, hitting the queen. So we'll see what's going on. Queen e5, check, and maybe just king f1 in that position. King f1, king g2, just castle by hand. Doesn't look like the end of the world. Okay, so you're gonna try and pick up my h pawn. So we're just gonna play queen e2 here. And if queen h2, we're just gonna castle long, and we're just gonna go after. We're gonna go after black with stuff like knight b5, d4, d5, trying to start opening the position. Even bishop c6 might be a threat in this position. Just really trying to rip open the position. So, okay. So he's going to try and castle long. So how do we stop that? Do I have to stop it? If I just castle long, and if he castles, I can't take on e7 yet, but I can take on c6. And then I can take on e7, and then rook d8 might be a bit of a mess. So, all right. Well, I want to connect my rooks. I don't want my my king just sitting in the middle. So okay, knight b5 sets up an idea of taking on c6. So also stops knight d4 right now. But a6. Maybe a little weakening. Maybe I can take on c6 on that line. Okay, so queen e3. queen e3, so now the threat is to take on c6 and just pick up the a7 pawn. It's not completely winning because black can escape on d7 and e8, but I don't like black's development problems here. So taking on c6 here, and now I do like my position here. Okay, well that's interesting. So I hung that. Okay, so let's calculate. Bishop a3, king b1, bishop takes c6, queen a7 check, king c8. Okay, well that's not okay. I can play queen a7 and then I can take back on a3 as well. So king b1, I can still take back with the knight. I can take on a7 and then take back on a3 with the knight. So I'm still getting my piece back and I'm threatening to pick up an a7. So I have I got a 30-second lead on the clock. So it doesn't look like I'm losing any material here because we just traded pieces essentially. So and a7 is under attack. So okay, so that seems kind of a critical weakness of the light squares. So the question is, what about bishop g2 and queen f3 maybe? And take on d7. Okay. So it doesn't. I'm not sure what to take. Yeah, I gotta hurry up here. So I gotta be careful of my queen potentially hanging to this to that. Okay, so it's just am I overly worried about that happening? All right, still not sure where I want to put my pieces. Play queen f3. And then rook here. I don't want to hang my f pawn for nothing. So plus I'm hoping to get some kind of play maybe on the light squares. a5 might be playable. So and if he takes, then queen here. So a5. If he takes here, no, he wants to swap queens. Okay, I'll go for that. Knight f5. Okay. So where's this going? Okay, knight d4 has to be a little careful. So I'm gonna play here. So I haven't got my pawn back yet. Actually, I'm down more than a few pawns. So actually I'm down a few pawns, but I don't have a piece. So I forgot about that. So okay, knight f3. I gotta try and control these pawns though. He's got 3 pawns per piece, so this is getting tricky. He's hitting my f2 pawn. I had this last time and I lost. So okay, rook f1. I want to keep those rooks connected, so there's no wacky tactics going on. Knight e4, hopefully. Knight e4, rook here. I have to be careful of a rook going here. Okay, right here. Maybe I can get away with knight c4. So rook a. Now I gotta play rook a1 and try and. Ooh dear. All right, have to be a little careful. So king d2 will kind of save my bacon. Knight d6 might be on the cards. Trying to win a pawn and give back in exchange. But I don't think I'm getting enough. I'll just be up in exchange and he'll have a couple pawns first, so it's probably not worth it. Okay, so king here. Alright. Rook here. Gotta try and save my pieces. Ah, I hung the f pawn. That sucks. That really sucks. Alright. Let's see through. Oh, okay, well I'll take that. That's nice. Okay. Alright. So I have to be a little careful. So check. Oh, well I can just take this now. Okay, take. And my knight's controlling all these squares. So, okay, I'm just going to take that. Take this. Now it's just yeah, this should be now. Yeah, when he didn't take my knight. He should have taken my knight, and it would have been quite a bit more complicated, especially in time pressure. So, but funny things happen in time pressure. So, let's see if we can grab a new opponent. It looks like my rating's back over 1800, so that's something. I'm still shooting for 2000. Don't know if I'll get it. So, be a miracle. I have broken 2K on other accounts. So in Bullet, Blitz, and Classical. So, alright, so here we go. There's our first over 2000 rated player. So we'll see how we do. Okay, E5. I am a Danish player. I do love the Danish. Still not know it as well as I should, but I certainly love the games that I get. I don't really like the D5 decline lines, giving everything back kind of leads to some boring games sometimes. But like they take on B2 and then D5 right here, and then Knight F6, take on F7, King takes, and then you're not winning a queen. So okay, so the main move. This is the best move from Black. It's supposed to be really bad for White. King F1 is the main move. Knight C3 though, it's a little more testing. Well, not testing, but it's just not a good position. So anytime you get the chance to play Queen B3 and attack the F7 pawn, that's generally what you want to do. So because Black doesn't have time to castle, because I'll just take that. So and we're just gonna play. Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore my E pawn for now. So the question becomes, what if I just castle long? Do I have to? I don't really want to give up my bishop, but he still can't play D5. So I'm going to be a little bit greedy and see if I can get away with this. C6 might be on the cards. So he still can't move his rook though to E8. So all right. So he's starting to play Knight A5. So all right. So best to castle. Okay. So both those knights are under attack. So bishop takes, rook takes, queen a5. Kind of tickles everything. Bishop takes. Alright. So I think I'm getting my oh, he's got knight d2. Oh wait, but I have queen here. So stopping knight d2 as well. So I don't have a lot of. I still have a lead in development, so that's what I have to play on. Sometimes you just gotta play on what you got. So I'm gonna see. First, I'm going to queen g5. Ew. Okay, so I have to take this. Let it take there. So there's no queen g5 right now. So okay, so this might be getting a little ugly. So he's cutting off my queen. So okay, king h1. So at least I can play rook g1. Some threats on the king, but my positions. This is what happens when you don't know gambit openings as well as you should. You get into weird positions like these, and now it's like I'm fighting for at best a draw, and maybe I'll win if he screws up. It's still bishop's opposite color, so maybe that'll give me something, but I doubt it. But you can always hope. So sometimes that's all you have is hope in these kind of positions. And one of the biggest things about chess is you gotta learn to fight. So like don't give up. It's like, oh, well, just play on and hope. Sometimes it's don't resign until your grandmother understands why you're resigning. So okay, queen c3. No point in swapping queens off here because it'll just be an easy, like the bishops. Everyone says bishops opposite color drawn. Obviously, this is not one of those cases, but everyone loves to say how drawish bishops opposite color. positions are in endgame specifically. It's a bunch of nonsense, in my opinion. Okay, so I kind of have to take that. So I take with the pawn. Let's curious question. H4, threatening H5 might be plausible. I like the fact that you have to take with the pawn, so at least I get some targets. Okay, so he wants to play rook e8. Okay, let's. So the b7 pawn might be a bit of a target. Let's try and shut down some of these files. I'm down a ton of material and time, so I have to play a little quicker. And okay, what to do now? Rook here. Yeah, this is not looking fun. D4 is coming now. Okay. Try and stay active at all costs. It's very, very important. So D3, try and take on F6. This is still all losing. Like C4 is just gonna kind of destroy me. So, ooh. Okay, what now? Down 2 pawns. In this kind of case, maybe it is like this is still not a holdable bishop's opposite color endgame. My structure's damaged. He's got too many passed pawns. My bishop's just going to be stretched too thin. The F3 pawn is a weakness. I'm down on time. So, but I'm going to make him absolutely prove it. So a lot of people don't like that, but I've saved games in long classical positions by making people prove it, and they haven't proven it all the time. I've gotten weird stalemate positions and things like that. So in general, it's just good to keep that fighting attitude. I'd rather see a person say, well, I'm not going to resign, even when it's dead lost, because sometimes you resign in non-resignable positions, or you just kind of lose that fighting spirit. You'll take quick draws and things like that. So it's always better just to try and fight when you can. So H5 is not picking up a piece, unfortunately. Bishop D3 does save his piece. So let's play rook E2, D3. Yeah, and that's going through, unfortunately. I have to play here, and B4, and C3, and C2. Yeah, there we go. B4, C4, C3. So now he has pretty much proven it. So, all right, on we go. So, still over 1800, so can't complain yet. So we'll see how many games I have left to do this, because I probably won't do it, but then I'll work up from there. And you don't make one goal, and you just set another one and keep going. So it's never the end of the world. We always set you can set different goals. If we fail one, we don't necessarily lower the bar. We just maybe find a different target. So I still want to aim for 2000, but maybe not play so many gambits against the really strong players like the 2000s right now. Play them against the 1600s, and generally that's not what I advise. But the 2000s are better at calculating out the mess than me. But I still prefer the mess against them overall. It's kind of weird. So we'll have to, but we'll see what happens if this guy moves. Maybe I'll just win by forfeit. Wouldn't that be nice? Nah, I'd always rather play. So but yeah, I don't know what this guy's doing. So I actually played this guy once. I've played like hardly any games, and I've played this guy once already. So hopefully it's not me lagging out, because God knows that would happen to me. So I'm just going to abort this and get a new opponent, and try again. I'm at it. I should check how many games I've done. Okay, I've done 9 games, so I've got 6 to get my shit together. So I had to win my next 6 games in a row to try and crack 2K. So maybe if I get some strong players and I beat them, then it's plausible. So Probably tomorrow I'll come to you guys with instructional video of I don't know on what topic yet. Maybe I'll pick a favorite opening of mine and start with that and see what you guys think of it, and if I can get any advice on or critique on it, or if you guys thought it was horrendously boring, then I could pick a different topic. So I know a lot of people don't like having endgames tossed at them, so that's something I could avoid. But all right, so I'm gonna stick to my my mainline dragon if he goes into it. So it's the position I'm most comfortable playing. So I used to play a little bit of like dragon dwarfs and stuff with a6 and b5, and you play h6. Okay, so we're getting a 11-fish dragon, which it's toothless if you know what you're doing, but I don't think you're actually supposed to play bishop g7 here. I think knight c6, bishop g7, and you gotta play some weird stuff. So, all right, knight f3. Okay, well, I'm gonna play bishop g7 here and see what the hell is going on. With e5, I'll swap queens and play knight g4. So, okay. So, castles, I'll play queen b6 check and bishop g4 maybe. So, yeah. If he plays h3, the question is, do I take that knight? I don't know if I really want to take that knight, but actually, I don't think I can pick up a pawn, but queen d4 might be annoying. So you can play. Okay, so queen d4, bishop d3, knight b4, bishop e3. Might trap the queen a little bit. So bishop d4. Okay, let's calculate this out. Queen d4, bishop d3. If I play knight b4, he plays bishop e3, and my queen's kind of stuck. Can't go to c4, can't go to e5, can't go to d5, and the dark squares are covered. So that's a no-go right now. But I could just play a normal move right now, like rook c8. So, and if the bishop moves, I can maybe take on b2. Okay, so now I want to collect that light squared bishop. So f7 is less vulnerable, especially with this rook and queen lined up on my f-pawn. So knight d5 might be okay, kind of target this weak pawn. So knight d5, ed5, and I have to be wary of playing with this backwards pawn. So I wouldn't want to trade too many pieces. Okay, so I'm going to take on b3, take a takes a. So take on b3, queen takes, a takes, take with the a pawn. How many do? Maybe I can sack the exchange here and take on e4. That would be interesting. I don't know. Oh yeah, maybe. Okay, this might be. Oh, let's go for this. I don't know if it works. It looks interesting. I'm gonna sack the exchange here. Unless you take. Okay, so I'm gonna swap here and take on e4. So I'm threatening something takes c3. I'm threatening knight g3. So rook f3. These are kind of exchange sacks. You see these a lot in French positions. You also see them a lot in dragons, or yeah, dragons, especially where they castle short. So so I've actually won a pawn here, so that's okay. And I'm gonna play rook c8, trying to just tickle on that c pawn. So h5, it's trying to stop g4. So I'm gonna take that. So the question becomes now what? How to proceed? Don't really want to play e6 here. Maybe d5 might be alright in this position. Just keeping all my pawn at b5. So just trying to clamp down on c4. Okay, so I have a permanent weakness here now. I can just kind of sink this in on c4. So that's nice and can never be kicked. And f4 is always a target now as well. I can play bishop h6 in some lines. So let's say this, make him put another pawn in a dark square. So his bishop is just gonna suck in all of these lines, like it's kind of staring at a wall here, staring at a wall here. Okay, so the question is how to proceed. I can just keep improving my king. So it's an endgame, so bring the king. You still can't play f5 because the bishop's now hanging. Okay, so still not. It's getting into a rook endgame, and I'm only up a pawn, so this might be tricky to win if I have to go into a rook endgame. But my chances are still better. So shy of hanging a rook, I'll play this out and we'll see what happens. So okay, that's kind of annoying. That is now rook c3. Oh, that's annoying. That is certainly annoying. I don't have to take it though. I can just kind of sit there. Oh, okay. I was expecting rook d4. So okay, well this knight's a pawn. So I'm gonna take one of these pawns. So if he takes here, I take on b3. Takes here, I take on yeah, just take here, and I'm gonna take here. Just gonna take everything now. So I'm just gonna win some pawns. So, and my pawn, yeah, I've really got no targets here. I'll try and go after this guy. Make him stay passive. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just up 3 pawns. So this should be a relatively easy win. Yeah, I'm just gonna play e5 next. He's pretty much in zigzag. So there's my outside pass pawn here. It's gonna become the new lady. So my pawns are faster than his, so I'm not worried about losing this position. So I'm gonna shove it. So, and I will take that. There we go. Okay. So I'm actually going to take a break, guys. Thanks for listening. And any advice, any comments on the games, any topics you want me to see do lessons on, leave it down in the comments below. And I will see you guys next time.